I feel like you're a woman. How in the world do you believe everything a man believes? You should have nuanced positions. That's the beauty of the masculine feminine, where there's similarities and there's differences. So when I hear a logical woman, I definitely expect to hear her to communicate things that the logical male and female understands. But I also expect, because she's a feminine individual, and you believe men and women are different. So therefore, if men and women are different and both of them are communicating their ideas, there's going to be differences and nuances to their ideas. And so therefore, whenever I see, not saying you, because remember I told you initially, I don't watch a lot of content, so I don't know it. But whenever I see those pro male female content creators, and I see like they always have the same male talking points, and there's no uniquely feminine talking points that men won't agree with, but she stands in that because she is a woman and her ideas are different. Sometimes I wonder, is this person fully communicating how they feel, or are they at times pandering because they understand that by communicating this way to this audience, I'm able to do better? Not saying
Whoo, Chile. Okay, listen, it's been a crazy few days. I've been watching YouTube silently and not really doing any videos, just kind of just paying attention. And Hafeez is on a roll. This brother from Roommates, you guys know I did a video on him, reaction, about last 2 years ago, one of the videos that he did. And I've been watching ever since, right? Sometimes I agree, sometimes I disagree, and that's just normal life. You sometimes agree, sometimes you disagree. But in the last few days, I've seen 2 or 3 videos of Hafeez now, conversation with Greg Coach Adams, a Red Pill content creator, or manosphere creator, I should say, having a conversation about marriage, and now obviously a conversation with Just Pearly happening as well. And it's actually a live video, so actually it's going on right now. It's premiering on Just Pearly's page. And I love this conversation because I feel like it's time we've got to start calling people out. Now, you already know, guys, how I feel about manosphere and how I feel about Red Pill community, specifically Red Pill community, because a lot of the stuff is just nonsense. A lot of the stuff is hurt boys talking. A lot of, men who have been hurt by women and refusing to heal, and then making every woman punishable, and making every woman to be gold diggers and 304s and hoes, and nothing seems to be positive coming out of the communication when this Red Pill community gets together, right? And something that he was talking about, which I've been watching him for, is, and Just Pearly is one of those people. I was happy that he called her out. And I'll tell you why I was happy that he called her out. Because she, like other Red Pill communicators, okay, do a lot of content because it makes money. It's not what they truly believe. And you guys have heard me say this before. Conformity, there's a lot of people who are conformists. They conform outwardly but inwardly disagree. They are the most dangerous because they'll eventually betray the actual community. Okay, all right. So they are people who outwardly say, "Oh yes, I agree with what you're saying," but inwardly don't agree. And so these are very dangerous people because you never know their real position of where they stand. And so listening to Hafeez and listening to him talk to Just Pearly, specifically Just Pearly, I watched her on the Peef Network, right, just recently. It's quite a new video as well, and I'll do some reaction videos on that a little bit later on, but I'm doing this live because I felt like this was a good conversation. And she was on the Peef Network, and they asked her some questions about a woman's position, and she started talking points on what men think. And I said, what are you doing? You're a woman. There's no way you think like me as a man. Right? There's no way you think completely like me as a man. I do not completely think like a woman. I don't fully understand everything a woman can think. I can get some similar points. I can talk from an emotional standpoint. I can give you some ideas, but I cannot talk like a woman. There are things that women think about. You guys saw me do this live. I did this with Jay and Kayla some weeks back on Ready to Love, where I said, you know what, Jay, I feel like the way I'm communicating, I may not be able to get through to Kayla. Jay, as a woman, take over. You know why? Because I do not think like a woman. And so trying this whole, and this is what I'm trying to say to you, a lot of the Red Pill community, okay, are making money from simply what? Hate. Right? A lot of the Red Pill community, they make money from hateful rhetoric. Let me simmer it down for someone who doesn't like that, what I just said. They make a lot of money from talking points that are with people in the community who we don't need to discuss certain things with, who we don't need to waste our time with. There are always going to be certain women who are going to be mad. And there are always going to be certain men that are mad. And something that I had to call Just Pearly out on was, and you'll see it later on when Hafeez calls her out on it, is that why is it on your platform you only bring certain women who are going to have very distinct points that I would say naturally aren't expansive, they aren't educative, they aren't deep, and they can't really articulate themselves well in a manner that would actually produce an actual viable conversation that won't be a clickbait. The F&F community, they got that same F&F ability. F&F ain't never brought nobody credible as a woman onto that channel. Maybe once or twice. I don't know the whole catalogue. Maybe once or twice. But a majority of Fresh and Fit's conversations with women are uneducated. No, not be rude. Okay, no, not be rude like that. But they're with women who I would say, listen, when it comes to articulation, when it comes to actually getting your point across, when it comes to sensible thought processes, when it comes to key ideological ideologies, ideologies when it comes to about relationships in a healthy format, I don't see them on the channel. I keep seeing the same type of gal on those channels because they want to perpetrate a certain idea. Do you know why? Because a lot of those men on those channels are sheep. They ain't gonna like me for it because they're gonna go on me a panderist, but I'm gonna say it. Okay? Just like when I see people on Cynthia G's channel, no, and every offense meant, because I'm tired of this sick of this stuff, on both sides of the community, where we have sheep people who just follow people and don't have their own ideologies. They just follow people because they're angry and they're hurt. Right? And Cynthia G's, like, I call Cynthia G like the mini Kevin Samuels of her time. They are literally on that side. And there are people on the other side, the men's side too, who are literally just following sheep followers. So the rhetoric always becomes the same. We are victims. 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 When will you come out of victim mode? Every time you're a victim. I'm tired. So in the same way, in this situation, when it comes to Just Pearly and this conversation with Hafeez, I was watching her on Lee Peeves' show and she was saying, I speak to a lot of certain type of women. And I was like, yeah, if you keep talking to a certain type of women, what do you expect the conversation is going to be like? And here's the reality of it is, people underneath the guise of, I want to help people grow. I want to help men. I want to help women. I want to help them. You don't. All right, you are the same kind of people who are just like in the world. You say, I'm a philanthropist, but you do things that are contrary to that. You're not trying to help, right? You're not trying to teach. It's almost like, you know what? Sometimes what I see with these content creators, and it's me just saying in general, right? The shoe fits. But in general, what I'm saying is this, right? Look, there are going to be loads of men and going to be loads of women on those channels who have been helped generally. Because you can you can split the bones out when you take the meat off, right? So you can. So I'm not disputing that. Just like when I talk about cultist churches, some people have actually been blessed by a cultist church. Now, of course, in the end, most of the people get destroyed in the end. But, some people can take some good stuff from it, right? But what we're saying at this moment is that if you really want to help a community, you'll realize that you cannot be using people for entertainment purposes only. Because that's what I heard just Pearly was talking. But you know what? It's entertaining. When you have these people on, it's entertaining. But you're trying to help the community. So where's the help of the community there? If we're going to consistently, and I mean consistently, bring people who are not going to add to the conversation in a way that's going to change the narrative. If you want to consistently bring people who don't, and that's why I love someone like Dear Future Wifey, because he will give a different aspect. He will show people that are married, and whether you agree with it, whether you like it or not, whether we see some relationships are a bit mad, it doesn't make a difference. We see a positive aspect to relationships, and what that does is it gives a balance. But if you're telling me you want to help the community, right? But every single time you bring on certain type of women onto the show to further perpetuate the ideas and the ideology of those men who have been hurt by either their mums or your dads or by cousins or uncles or whatever, or by ex-girlfriends, and you want to have that systemic flow of dopamine. I said dopamine, but a systemic flow of imagery that consistently reiterates a confirmational bias of the fact that relationships aren't working, marriage isn't working, then guess what's going to happen? You're feeding the beast. You ain't helping those men. You're only helping those men stay in a state of being frustrated and what they call red pill rage. Right? So when I look at it, when I look at some of these conversations, I've been on, and that's why some of you guys have seen on the videos I've done. I listen to the video and I'm like, I scratch my head. I'm like, what the heck? There's no way Just Pearly thinks like this. No way, Sally. And do you know what? Do you know what? On the Lapeef show, one of the girls called her out about it, and they moved on really quickly. And I actually agreed. I was like, so you are using, and of course, again, Just Pearly has a range of diverse people, right? Has a range of diverse people, but it hits different when you see a white person having several or multiple black people as a caricature on their channel to promote a certain type. We get annoyed in a different way. I'm not saying Just Pearly only has black people, because by the way, she has other races on there and different diverse ethnic minorities on there. So let's be very honest, it's not just black folk that are on there. But it definitely hits different when you have somebody white entering the space, having caricatures of black men and black women, or at least I'm going to say specifically black women, and trying to expose them in a way. It does hit differently. So I can understand what you're coming from that perspective, right? But she definitely has a diverse amount of people. But yes, you're right. She does consistently surround herself around black folk as well. So I'm not gonna do that. So now this situation here, and we're gonna play a bit more of the video. Right, she's gonna talk about her wife's school or whatever situation. I think it's quite interesting. Because this is the same thing with Kevin. And I'll be honest with you, when I watched it, part of this interview, I have to keep it. I know Hafeez cannot be all the way unbiased when it comes to Kevin Samuels and people like Rollo Tomasi, because he has an extended relationship with them, which I understand. I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to have more grace for people, because I understand now that because of relationships, it can make it a bit more difficult to actually say your truest thoughts. But I don't have a relationship with him, so I can say it, okay? I can say it for him. Kevin Samuels' message got lost. Simple as. Kevin Samuels' message got lost. Now, Hafeez says obviously he respects Kevin because he was refining his message. Maybe he was, but at the very beginning he did damage. When he made black women entertainment to expose only a certain type of black women, he did damage to the black community in general. I'm so sorry, anybody out there who's a family member of Kevin Samuels, I'm not trying to shout you down, but let's keep it real for what the work that he did. Part of the work that he was doing was that he was now tearing down black women, which actually tears down your actual community. If you make caricatures and you make stereotypes and build it up to the highest hilt, and that's all you're going to ever show, you're making it VH1, Love and Hip Hop all the time, and on your show, you only want to talk about how black women are not realistic, and da-da-da. Instead of actually making it, do you know what? This is a handful of people. These are the people you should be avoiding. These are the kind of people who are being irresponsible with their type of way of wanting preferences. That's what should have been called out. Instead, he made it a general thing for black women. And that's the problem we have. Your message is not being hit. Your message is incorrect now. Right? So maybe he started off by trying to help the community. I always heard Kevin Samuels talking about, I want to help the black community. I want to help the black community. You ain't helping the black community when you address certain people this way. When you tear down people in this way, that ain't building the community up. People who need love don't need you to be now tearing them down. Do you understand? And there are some people that just can't be helped. Let's be honest. All right. So let's be real. But some of the stuff that I saw with Kevin Samuels and the things he was advocating for, I'm so sorry. That was nothing to help the community. Right? No, that was not the community. That wasn't to help the community. Not at all. You know? Not at all. So yeah, no, yeah. it's not it, you know. Someone said Hafeez becomes whoever he's sitting in front of. I think what's happening with Hafeez, let me be very frank with you. Hafeez was deep in the manosphere, the red pill. He was. It was deep. What I've started seeing his content happening is he started to pull away. As he's grown stronger in his faith, as he's grown stronger in his Christian walk, I've noticed the content has begun to shift. Like some people accuse me of shifting in my content, so let me say it as well. He started to shift his perspective. And that's why right now he's at odds with the red pill. In fact, he's called out red pill. On this video, you'll see it. He's called them out. And the reason being is because when your faith gets interlocked with who you are and it becomes your primary foundation of how you read the world, because the trouble is where is your foundation? Your foundation is what helps you read the world. As Christ becomes more important, as he becomes the lenses, you start to see the world differently. And so what's happened with Hafeez is that unfortunately, he started on one side and now he started to come back onto the other side. So you'll see that he had mad growth on his channel. I've just gone through his I literally went onto Roomates podcast. If you look at his last 20, 30, 40 videos, the views have gone down dramatically. We're looking at 5K, 4K, 3Ks. Whereas beforehand he was hitting 60K, 80K, 100Ks, you know what I mean? And of course, within reason, 20, 30K he would hit for a video. Now I'm looking at the last 20 or so videos, I'm seeing 5K, 4K. Now, of course, I think the algorithm is playing a bit of games because I think a lot of times, a lot of creators have complained about the reviews going down and everything as well. But the reality is, the shift has happened, and because I watched some of Hafeez's video and I go through the comments, I also see the men now complaining about Hafeez because he shifted his position. He's no longer in a space where he goes, only men. I'm gonna give them not even just a male point of view, but I'm gonna slaughter women only, or I'm gonna bring certain type of women on. He's not doing that anymore. And I actually watched a lot of his content when I started watching the interviews with women, where he had like 2 women on a time. The last 10 or so that I saw, last 10, 15 or so, I saw great conversations. There was no longer the slaughtering of women, or let me give you pepper soup. It was more of a case of, let me give you another aspect. This is how men think. And then there was a conversation between the two. And what you started seeing is, as that conversation was happening, it's more productive, but it's not productive for everybody. This is why I say certain people that come on this channel, they're not going to be able to be okay with this channel. Because we're not going to hold just, women are trash, women are this, women. I've not got the time for that, because I don't see that. I see good women out there. I meet great, amazing women. I meet women that are sound. I meet women that are Christian. I meet women that are loving. I meet women that are real. I also meet men that are really cool. I meet men that are about the wanting to be in a relationship. I know men that also too want to actually love a girl. I know men that unfortunately have had it hard with women too. But I'm never going to be on one side and be like, you know what, women are... Nah, I'm going to hold both sides accountable. If I read something or watch something, I'm going to try and give a holistic perspective and try to come up with different ideas as to why we're feeling that particular way. And a lot of people don't like that because they want to be on one side. And the reason why they want to be on one side is because they're hurt. Right? Because they're hurt. Okay? So a lot of these ideologies on both sides, on the extremes, on both men and both women, they are hurt people who want to have hurt content, who then are they're literally feeding off the hurt of these people and making it currency. Right? And making it currency. So what you'll realize is the top end creators, a lot of times in the manosphere especially, are men who always drive home the same point. Listen, let me give you another example of another content creator. I actually watch him a lot. I actually started to like a little bit of his content. I can't even lie to you, because he be telling some truths. O'Shea Duke Jackson. Oh man. O'Shea Duke Jackson. Like, I actually like his content, because I actually watch some of his content. I actually get along with some of his content. I actually like, yeah, he's telling some truth there. He was one of my first introductions into that kind of black manosphere and stuff like that, right? But I've noticed, and do you know what's something interesting as well, right? Something that's interesting, and you, some of my audience have also held me accountable for this as well, right? If the topic doesn't apply to black women or black men, why do we make it so? So, for instance, I think it's probably about 2 years ago. about 2 years ago, I remember some ladies got some of my audience members got annoyed at me because I put a video about something about black women, this and that, right? And I can't remember what it was. And really the title was more damaging than it actually was trying to help, right? It was more damaging than it actually was trying to help, right? Because it wasn't meeting the reality. You know, sometimes I'll put in my title black women this, right? Because it really is black women who are complaining. So that's the reality of the thing. But when it's not necessarily true, when it's not really in alignment with actually the story that's happening, or it's not really in its reality, I start to realize that then you're starting to feed into this narrative. And I think it was about 2 years ago, and I think this video, I can't remember what video it was, and I remember some women were commenting in that particular video saying, this title is damaging. You're like, we love your content, but we don't want to see you go down this lane. And at first I was like, why are you not moaning? Like, it's at the end of the day, I got to do this full time. You know, I've got to sell some papers or sell some, I got to sell the video, like da 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 da. And I changed it. I changed the title because I said, okay, do you know what? If I'm hearing several people complaining about this, let me change the title. And then I sat with it. So I changed it first, because I was like, you know what? I do like to listen to my audience, and I don't want to ever do damage. And I said, let me change it first. And then I sat with it, and I really deeped it. And I said, do you know what? Yeah, that title was a bit mad. Because the title wasn't really about the situation. Let's be real. It was a proper trigger title on purpose, right? That had nothing necessarily to do with the topic, but more to draw people in, right? Now, I don't mind a triggering topic I don't mind a triggering title if it's in alignment with the actual subject, like if it's in alignment with that subject. But that day, it wasn't. So when I got called out about it, I had to sit with myself and ask myself a question: what lane do you want to go down? Because you can go down that lane, right? You can go down that lane to sell those papers, but what's going to happen is you're going to go down a lane where you're going to sell your soul, right? And you're going to have to keep feeding that beast. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a certain audience come through, okay? You're going to have a certain audience going to come through, but that audience, okay, are not going to get the benefits of what you can really bring to the table because you're going to be pandering, right? Because how I am naturally, I cannot not hold both parties accountable. It's not in me to do so. So to go down one lane would cause me to be fake and unreal. But you know what I mean? So when the ladies called me out on my channel and said, hey, you know what? You're going down a lane, coach. We don't like it. Like, there are times where I listen, I hear it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to listen to you because I don't agree. But there were some times where I was like, I knew. Yeah, that video was not. Yeah, that title, that video. Yeah, it was a bit mad. I didn't need to do that video that way they did it. Yeah, okay. I need to put a title like that. That wasn't necessary. Okay, cool. Right? So it's important to have, accountability, because what happens is people go down a particular lane and it works for them and they don't stop. Okay? By the way, Jamala's not on anymore, guys. Not because she's not coming on, but because we're waiting till after the reunion. I've had to push back some of the interviews because the reunion's actually later than I thought it would be. So some of the interviews, I've pushed them back. So Jamala, Looney, Justice, they all pushed back. But Sharice will be on tonight, guys. Sharice will be on tonight, guys. So check in for that. It's going to be in about an hour's time. I'll have Sharice on the channel as well, and we'll talk about her experience on Ready to Love. So look out for that today, Sharice's interview. But yeah, so when you hear some of these situations, oh my days, I put it wrong time. Hold on, I realized I've not put it right time, guys. Thank you for letting me check this. All right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Sabrina, that was it. Yeah, that was it. That was literally it, Sabrina. That was literally it. She was called out, and just like other black men content creators, just like I say about Cynthia G, and I'm sure there's others like that. When you're hyper focused on trying to be, we're only on this side, you are going to cause issues. If you cannot hold both parties accountable, you are a problem for me. Right? If you can't hold both sides accountable, you're a problem for me. And if you always give the other side, and that's why Derek Jackson was called a panderer, because he always gave the perspective of women. But I was like, wait, bro, so what about the perspective of men? And do you know what's interesting as well? I think me and Sean had this conversation as well. You know, and I'll be real with you. A part of me when I first started YouTube was, my honest sentiment when I started YouTube was to expose the game of men. I was like, let me produce content that will help ladies deal with men, right? Because I know how the game works. I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to get played. And that's also my expertise. My expertise is explaining how the game works and why men do what they do. I can't explain what women do because I know why I know parts of it, but I don't know the female mind, right? I know the male mind. Right? So for me, I was like, I can expose the male game and expose the male mind. I wasn't trying to draw a female audience. I was just trying to expose the game. Now, the audience that I had came about because obviously Ready to Love, and a lot of them are females, women who often are frequenting those particular places. And so what happened, I realized at a very big, close to, you know, when I started getting popular, I realized there was partly a fear. My people pleasing side of me, there was partly a fear. There was a fear of saying something that would be taken wrongly or the audience wouldn't like, right? I had a fear because I was people pleasing, right? So at the very beginning of my content career, when I started taking it full time, or so I say when I started doing Ready to Love, I was afraid of being able to put out content that would be what? That would be challenged, or should I say challenged, that would upset my main core audience. I was like, how do I upset them and be real at the same time? I wasn't sure how to do it because I was a people pleaser. Once I started breaking the mold of being a people pleaser, as you start to realize, I didn't care. And as I started not to realize, there were people who weren't liking it, but there weren't many of them, but people who didn't like it, they left the channel. They said, okay, I can't deal with this. Kojo has changed. They go. Right? And that's fair. They had to leave because they were moving in a new direction. But once you start to realize I'm not here to people please, and both sides are crazy, and I need to hold both sides accountable, only the people that truly want to hold both sides accountable or can understand both sides or reason with both sides or have educated conversations with both sides are the ones that stay with you. Those who want to have one side and be one-sided don't end up being on this channel because they realize it's not the space for them to be haters. You see, if you stay on one side, you end up hating the other side. Okay? You don't want to be in that space. Okay? We can create nuances. Right? So I can hold men accountable, I can hold women accountable. I can also be wrong. Like you guys have held me accountable on the channel before. I can also be wrong. I can say something and I may not realize the impact it makes and I can be held accountable. They can say this, they can say that. This channel is a space where we can have those conversations. And so when you start seeing these content creators consistently be on one side, I go on these channels and I started realizing, for instance, if you go on Just Pearly's page, she's not the only one. Just Pearly, O'Shea Jackson, Coach Greg Adams, you go on to Steph is Cold and all these kind of other people who are in the manosphere, grifters, POAs and PUAs and red pill folk. When you start watching their titles, you will see in the titles it's the same thing. Woman gets destroyed. Woman gets schooled. Woman gets told this or that, whatever. It's always negative in the aspect of that woman. Always. In the manosphere side of things, it's always that women, there's negatives. So do you know why Just Pearly exploded? Because the reality of it is that a lot of her videos were subscribing to bitter, hurt men who also could agree with the content whenever women were getting trashed. Right? You don't believe me? Let me show you something. And this is it's not an indictment solely, this is not an indictment solely on Just Pearl. It's on all the people within that space, that red pill space. You know, it's all indictment on those people on that space. And you know, Hafeez was part of that as well at a point in time, and I think he's changing it. You know what I mean? He's now changing it, so you'll see that it's not. I want to show you as well, so you can actually see it and see what I mean, right? You'll see this. Look. Okay. Look at this. All right. Cool. Why modern women are 304s. African women battle it out. Who's more black? When female students turn into delusion. Pearl debunks the gender wage gap. Accept hypergamy for what it is. Okay, that's not one. Okay, modern women just don't listen. Modern women get schooled on black culture. Modern women don't like truth. Reason black women are not desirable. Modern women didn't know she's a hoe. Old school blood schools modern women. Modern chick demands 50-50. 44-year-old single woman gets destroyed. Black guy destroys insecure woman. Women choose these men and complain. Asian woman destroys single mothers. Black culture has done more harm. Okay, cool. That's not really too much about thingy. Okay, most men grow without this. Okay, modern women want to be men. Modern women don't want equality. Modern women's crazy expectation of men. Women love abusive relationships. Like, bruv, look. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? So the whole point of those things is that it's consistently negative against women. Those men the men that are drawn to this channel and others like it, love that stuff because they're bitter and they are hurt. I hope you click this out and send it to somebody who's bitter and hurt so they can see this. As a man, when you follow Just Pearly and you love her channel, it's because you are bitter and you are hurt and you consistently deal with men. And it's the same thing when I look at sometimes the Cynthia G stuff. Let me be real with you. I'm a whole two sides of the time. Sometimes I look at Cynthia G's content, it's the exact same thing. Every day. I'm like, sis, relax. Freaking lax. Okay? All right? So it can't be every day, all right, that your content is about trashing women. How does that uplift women? How does that even help men? If those men keep on seeing the same rhetoric every single time. Okay? How does that help men? How does that grow men? How does that teach men? How does that make them better? How does it improve them? By proving the very point, okay, yes, we get it. Okay, yes, we get it. There are some women out there that are trash and have treated men badly. That's great. I don't mind. Put that content out there. But then if the content stays as always, women get destroyed, women don't want to win it, and every single time it's that, then we're going to have a problem. I'm not saying we can't give men a voice. I want men to have a voice. I also want to be realistic. I want it also to be teachable. I want it also to be real. I want it to be real. Right? So you build a culture where both parties' voices are absolutely equilibrium. This is why we have women on the channel too. This is why we have women and men that have a voice on this channel. And I want both to be able to contribute to each other. Right? So we focus on giving that equality of a voice. Now, does that creator, as me, as a YouTuber, do I have a particular mindset? Yes. Do I believe in certain things? Yes. But I'm not going to play the game where I'm trashing one side or the other just to get a result. Because it doesn't build and it doesn't help bring solutions to the situation. Right? So, yes, let's get back onto the content I was saying about... I've been talking for a good 33 minutes and I haven't even... I was actually trying to review the video and I haven't even reviewed it yet. My bad, guys. I was meant to review the video so you guys can watch it, but I've been deep in this conversation. Okay.
You're doing so. I don't want you to get mad at me, bro. I don't know your intention. I don't know
mad.
you. I'm just communicating.
Uh-huh.
So when you brought up do you want to respond to that?
Yeah.
I was leading to the wife school point.
Oh, to the wife school.
Yeah, I
was just going to say that I think it's more having like a father presence in our lives, most of us.
What about your mom?
What do you mean? What about my mom?
Do you have a motherly presence as well?
Yeah, I did. Shout out, Jen.
You calling your mom by your first name? What are you doing, girl?
Yeah, shout
No
out, Jen.
respect. That's a white girl stuff. Boy, call mama Jen. Girl, what the heck?
No. I mean, it's like I don't know. It's funny because I would say naturally, if I take a personality test, it says I'm very left. It says I'm very liberal. So a lot of people think I'm more like left when they first meet me. But like my dad was just always there to like dispel everything. He doesn't believe in the voting thing though. He thinks I took that too far.
Shout out, Pops. And I'm not picking on you. Let me, because you made the wife school. I truly believe women like you. This is why I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to say this to you personally. I didn't want to do it off camera. I want to say it to you personally because I think it's make great content. Women like you have the power to change everything. You made a point initially. You said you believe women can make a change. I truly believe you are so correct. Women such as yourself wield so much power to make a true lasting change in this society. Women such as yourself have so much of power and ability to make a true lasting change in this world.
Yeah, I agree.
And so to me, my biggest thing is that I want women such as yourself living out your full potential and your full skill sets to be able to truly transform the world. And so to me, when you made the wife school reference, I was like, man, I'm glad you went there.
Yeah.
Because the first reason it was, are you married?
No. So that's why I need wife school. That's why I'm putting it together.
No. Let me look.
Yeah.
If you really want to help women, I can tell you exactly what to do that will be able to help women. Here's the reality. When it comes to male content, this is not important. They actually think this is a sign of weakness, but this is not important. They don't give a dang if you're married or not. Men don't care. All men care is can you have sex? Can you get laid? If you are a man and you can show and prove to people that you can have sex with other women, other men will respect you. I'm not making the rules. That is what happens in male content. So male content creators don't have to be married for other men to respect them. If they show some receipts, if they show girls on yachts, they show girls on parties, if they show whatever it may be, other guys will respect them and listen to them because that is the litmus test for success in men. Not my rules, this is what's going on in today's world. Women is different. Women respect this. Women listen to this. When you're able to be like, yo, you women, you can either be like this, like me, or be like the streets. When you're able to do stuff like that,
you're not familiar with my content. I don't really give advice, but okay.
I know, but
so question to the ladies out there. Do you think Hafeez, what he's saying is correct? I would agree with him. My natural logical mind would agree with him. But I'd love to hear from the ladies. Would you respect more about the woman who says you can get a ring? Or would you respect and listen more to a woman who, could get you more men? Let's say more men in a sense. Would you listen more to somebody who can get you the ring? Or would you listen more to somebody who can potentially, I guess, get you more sex or more men in your DMs, whatever? What would be your kind of thoughts on this, Would you agree with that, Because my natural inclination was, okay, so don't tell a woman to get married unless you're married. Okay, so that kind of puts a perspective on it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So would you say, if you had to choose, if you had to choose between the two, which one would you choose? As a woman that can get a ring. Okay. Yeah. And I would say I would believe the woman that would get a ring would have more weight. So if she was already married, and she's like, ladies, this is what I did to get a ring, and do you know how I know it to be true? Sierra is the proof. And I'm not talking about every woman, by the way. It's not every woman we're talking about, but Sierra getting Russell Wilson created loads of women to be like, what is a formula? What is a prayer you prayed, sis? And I think the reason why is because a lot of times women, you can get sex. Very easy. You can easily get sex. It's not hard for women to get sex. They know who they can go to. It's not difficult to get a man to sleep with you. You know what I mean? Like maybe if he was to, I can get you a baller or something, maybe they would be more interested. But I think sex is so easy for women to access if they wanted to. it's not necessary that you have to link, but a ring, marriage. If somebody had more solutions for that, I think a lot more ladies, and as a woman, I think a lot more ladies would listen to that person because they have what I think a lot of women would want. That's not everybody, you know. Yeah, that's everyone. Okay.
But
go ahead.
You said wife school.
Yeah, but it's not taught by me.
Huh?
It's not taught by me.
Who's gonna build the wife school?
No, I'll put. This is. See if you let me give the elevator.
Go ahead,
before you critique the idea.
Please.
So that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, you know what we should do? We should bring in like wives from around the world that actually are married and are actually in those positions. And you could like go through different classes for like how to dress like a wife, how to cook like a wife, how to clean like a wife, like all the things that like wives have. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I can't teach it. I'm not a wife. And I was like, but I'm like really good at bringing people together. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't ask someone to do something that I'm not willing to do.
I love it. Yeah. So here's what I was going to, because you're actually saying the same thing. Yeah. Literally what you described is one of my ideas.
Yeah.
You called it wife school. I called it wife academy.
Oh, okay.
And it'd be an amazing show. I actually gave it to somebody. This is a free game. I gave it to somebody, but you said it already. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the people. Wife academy would be a podcast where a woman who's married brings in other women who's married and talks to them about what does it mean to be a wife. Because the school is cool, but the school, how many people can be in the school? 100, 200, 300, 1,000 is limited. But
well, it would be filmed, so it's like
I love it.
Yeah, it's
so let's say know it's gonna be filmed. So in this wife academy, the fundamental challenge is if you were gonna start the wife academy, the people want to know, did it work for you? That's the challenge with the women, because you are the face.
Yeah,
you are the face.
That's the whole that's like the whole idea is like I'd be going through wife school and I'd be giving feedback each round. So I'd be like, all right, I'll try this week, I'll try that, you know. So it's like
I love it.
So
because it reminds me of Anna Bay. School of Affluence.
Yeah.
Familiar with her?
No, I don't know what that is.
So it's Anna Bay, School of Affluence. She was she created a very popular YouTube channel for women, teaching women how to be affluent, how to marry men in high society, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
So her information was, like you said, very biographical. As Gary Vee says, document, don't create. I'm not there yet. I'm documenting the journey. And then eventually she gets married, gets all types of credibility. So you're 100% right. If you're going to go that route, where it's like, hey guys, I'm not there yet. I need to learn. I need to grow. I need to improve.
Yeah.
Here are these expert women. But the point that I was bringing up was that the true power in it, when you go bananas, is when you're like, yo, I went through wife school and I got married.
Yeah.
Because you're the face of it. You're the one bringing everybody together. You are the face. No matter what, you can bring some amazing women on to wife school, wife academy, whatever you call it. But you're going to be the face. But when you're able to come in that room and be like, yo, ladies, welcome to Wife School episode 1. I'm your host, Just Pearly. And ladies.
I said I'm not. I'm going through it.
No, I'm talking about in the future.
Yeah.
You can't. How many times you going through wife school?
With a lot of different types of girls from all walks of life. I don't think most girls have any idea. And that's actually part of the stuff on my channel is like I red pill women. So I'll show them Jordan Peterson about the pay gap, or I'll show them like, so it's kind of like you kind of see them go through their journey like firsthand.
But my thing is that, and this is my criticism of doing it for 7 years, and maybe you're just sorry.
7 years.
So this is my criticism of me doing this for 7 years, and also me I'm helping men since 2012 when I dropped my first YouTube video. I'm obsessed with solutions and the best solutions.
Right.
If we truly believe doing YouTube videos, showing people what's wrong in today's world is going to change the minds of the masses. You and I both know that is not the case. You and I both know that's not the case. That is not the long-term solution to society. If you were to ask me what would change the world more, you know, Pearly thinks doing a wife academy, a wife school where she's going through things that a wife needs to be successful, that she goes through herself, and then all of a sudden she finds an amazing husband, and now she's having an amazing family, and using that as an example, versus just going up to random girls asking her, do you believe in female privilege? What is most effective? And so to me, that's a part where I realize my expectations is not fair to put it on you, because it's your life, it's your purpose, whatever you feel like God's called you to do. But to me, after doing this for so many years, I'm like, yo, the win is the receipts, is the results. That's the win in today's society. The win in today's society is what? All the 40-year-old plus feminists, single, miserable, lonely.
Yeah.
And they're upset, and then their friends happily married, doing well. That's the win. Showing like, yo, you guys thought that 40 and with your cats is cool. Look at you now. That's the.
You know what's also interesting? I remember I had this conversation with a friend of mine, and I was talking about. She was talking about the dichotomy of having dualistic cognitive dissonance. And what those big words mean is having dualistic ideas and them being opposed to each other, but still having harmony. So, for instance, he mentioned about the 40-year-old feminist. Here's the reality of it, right? That you can be a feminist, right? You can be a feminist and have dualistic ideas because you cannot be fully sold out if you want to get married. It's the reality, right? Because most cases, you're not going to meet the man that's going to completely be bent to the idea of feminism. So there's an aspect of where compromise what you need to be able to come to terms with, right? So you can fight for feminism, and there are going to be aspects of the feministic idea that you say are true, but because in order for you to be happy in your life, you're going to have to give them up. And the same is said for any man there too, because we see this on Married at First Sight. When you see Mitch behaving as he does, we're all saying, Mitch, you've got to compromise in order to make this relationship work. Once you enter a relationship, you becoming hardcore anything has to begin to move. That's the power that God puts in the hand of having man and woman together. That being hardcore something is very rare for a couple to be hardcore in anything. Right? Baby Blue said you can be a feminist. Of course you can, but it depends on what feminist ideologies that you subscribe to. Because remember, there are different waves, right? If you're simply saying women are equal to men and should have equal pay, cool, right? No beef. But if you're subscribing to other aspects of feminism, you will realize it becomes more difficult to exist in a relationship because everything you will see will be will be inequality. And the question you ask yourself is, can I fight every single fight? Right? So the key aspect of this is that there'll be some fights and some wars that both, not just feminists, men too on the other side, right? Who subscribe to an ideology that's strictly down this line, will realize when it comes into a marriage or relationship, you're going to have to switch. If you're red pill all the way, you're going to have to switch. Because in order to make your relationship work, there are going to be aspects of a relationship that are not red pill-esque, that are blue pill-esque. You're going to have to compromise. No one can stay 100%. That's why when you get married, marriage is a beautiful alignment because it pulls people in different directions. That's why marriage is such a powerful tool, because it pulls people from just being on the ledge and saying, well, if you want to make this work, you're going to have to come to a happy medium. Now, you may have more of the percentage, but you can't go all the way as you used to, right? The language you use, maybe if you are someone on both sides, men or women, you might have to cartel your language because now you're married. You don't want to have your kids. You see, so you start to realize there are some wars when you get married. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Sorry, you're right. Lady and son is purple pill, not blue when you get married.
When is the receipt? So to me, I just don't think we need more women just simply doing what the guys are doing. We already have the guys doing that. Why don't the women, such as yourself, who have the intelligence, who have the ability to encourage, equip, build up other women, why don't you guys do more of that? And I guarantee you,
that's what I'm trying to do.
Where's the Wife Academy at?
It's we want to launch it in like February, March.
Listen. If you are for real,
yeah, I'm like dead serious.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
If you are for real and you are truly doing this, I want to see it in February. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna get you information. I'm gonna put it on my calendar. I'm gonna put February. The launch of Wife School. And because what's happened is people have told me they were going to do stuff, but they saw the views, they saw the money in the other stuff, because there's not going to be money in that initially. And that's going to take you a lot of time, energy, and effort.
Oh, I disagree. I am entertaining. You can't not. I will make that show so entertaining. I will make it so entertaining. And it's going to be good because I am so good at networking. I can get really good. It's going to be good.
If you really believe that there's going to be more views in Wife School, in Wife,
the way I'll do it,
tell me how you're going to do it. Teach me.
It's going to be funny.
Teach me.
Yeah. So basically, what I want to do is I want to bring. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be my friend Jess.
Yes.
But I'm also gonna bring in like the craziest 304s ever.
You see,
you
now
gotta make it funny. You gotta make it funny because but this is what I feel like you lose, because you need to make it entertaining to reach the most people, and that's, you might not like that, but it's like the more people you reach, the better your impact is. So
let's pause it there really quickly. What she's talking about is what I call the TV formula. Okay, she's talking about the TV formula. In order to reach the considerable masses, she's using TV formula. Very much what we see like Ready to Love, Married at First Sight. We see on even storybooks, right? Yes, C Perk, I saw it, bro. I saw it. When you talk about storybooks, having the beginning, middle, and end, the climax, and what she's talking about is using that formula of having the juxtaposition of women that are 3 or 4s, who are meant to be 3 or 4 stands for hoes, women that are loose, okay, and then having, and then having women that actually, quote unquote, sorry about that, want to learn, right? Now, there is some validity in this because it's a proven method. It does work. But the problem with this is when you are trying to teach, you see, do you know, I said this, and do you know what's so interesting? You can see this now. If you go to a church that truly teaches people the word of God, and I'm talking about teaching, not preaching, because preaching is different from teaching. Preaching expounds on the word to make you motivated, okay? When you get an actual teacher that breaks down the word, they're not trying to motivate you now, they're trying to teach you the word of God, you'll realize the church shrinks. And the reason why is because classrooms are not about motivating you, they're about teaching you. And not everybody wants to be taught. Okay, when you get teaching, you start to bring the thing smaller. I remember this when I first started YouTube. I remember me and my brother was talking about this. He said, "Bro, maybe your videos are a little bit long." And I said, "Do you know why? Do you know why I do it long? It's because I'm not preaching, I'm teaching. And when you teach, you have to take the whole thing. You have to break it all the way down so the person gets the full idea of what you're teaching. You see, when you're in a classroom, for 8 or so hours, each lesson an hour or so, but you're in the school system. It's trying to indoctrinate you into a way of thinking. And so you have to give that child an hour in that classroom, not 15 minutes, because they need time to be able to break things down. Of course, your class is very big as well, right? But when you're teaching, not preaching, your audience is different, which is why I've begun to feel a bit more chill about the numbers. Because sometimes I'm like, blood, I've been putting out great content. Why are you blowing up like that? And I realized, okay, maybe this is also my level that God has asked me to be faithful at as well, and buy with it. Maybe there's some things I can also improve on, which I know I can as well. But also the other aspect is understanding that when you're teaching, your audience becomes considerably different to somebody who's preaching. You know what I'm saying, right? When you make things entertainment, it is different from teaching. Teaching can be fun. Don't get it twisted. It can be fun. We can make it fun around here. But when you are teaching, it becomes different. And so I think what's really interesting here is about what she's saying about it's entertainment. Well, how are you helping people? How are you helping people? You're not actually teaching me anything. How are you helping people? Right? Edutainment is still educative, but it focuses more on the entertainment of that education. You will learn, but not at the same rate you would learn if someone's considerably focused on teaching. But let's go.
And you don't know if those girls could be saved. You have no idea.
Here's the reality. You're 100% right. If you want to sell the most juice, maximum Kool-Aid, minimum medicine, and there's a balance. There's a balance. But you're 100% true. The less medicine and the more Kool-Aid, the more people will buy it. But then on the flip side, you get to the point where you're like, I want to reach the masses. I want to sell my drink to the masses. And you realize that the best way to sell your drink to the masses is do what? Give them straight Kool-Aid. Not saying you're giving them straight Kool-Aid, but
you're losing me in this analogy. I need you to dumb it down slightly.
So there's this phrase about putting the medicine in the Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid is a drink that African Americans consume in 2 major flavors.
I know what Kool-Aid is.
Oh, you know Kool-Aid. I
know what Kool-Aid is.
So there's there's purple.
I just didn't understand like what was the medicine, what was
cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll break it down.
Okay.
There's purple Kool-Aid. You familiar with purple Kool-Aid? You guys might call it grape Kool-Aid.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I never drank it, but I know what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's something Black people call it purple Kool-Aid. Everyone else calls it grape.
Yeah.
There's another drink called Robitussin. It looks very, very similar. It's good for your coughs, it's good for colds, it's good for flus. What ends up happening is that when you want your children to drink the Robitussin, have you ever drank Robitussin before?
No.
You never drank Robitussin?
I don't know what that is.
Have you guys drank Robitussin?
This is why
my people know. My people know.
That's why this analogy is lost. I was like, I don't even know what he's talking about.
Robitussin is cough syrup.
Oh, okay, cough syrup.
Have you ever drank cough syrup before when you had a sore throat or had coughs?
Yeah.
Okay, you drunk.
I didn't know the name of it. It might have been. Yeah.
So when you drink cough syrup, did it taste good or did it taste bad?
It tasted bad.
Exactly. Cough syrup tastes bad.
So you'd put the cough syrup in the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, so they can drink it.
Yeah.
And so they can get the medicinal flavors.
Yeah.
But then they'll be able to digest it.
Yeah.
Here's a problem. It waters it down, right? Here's a problem that eventually you realize that if you really, really, really want them to drink the juice, you have to remove the cough syrup. So it's this idea of you're right. You're 100% right. The more entertaining things are, the more views it gets. And I know this. You said this is why you lose. No, I knew this. You didn't meet me because of you didn't meet me back in 2010 just because we were just simply just giving straight facts. A lot of people met me in 2010, 2020 because of my live stream. When I was doing the live stream with the pepper soup and all that stuff, I understand how it worked. Kevin Samuels talked a lot to me about those things that he was doing as well. So I 100% know it works. But what I've also learned is that it comes a time and a place where you realize that the people, all they want is the sugar. You fed them sugar. All they wanted is sugar. They want no medicinal value. And if you're truly trying to give them medicine, sometimes you got to give them the most. You got to find that balance. And that balance is not pure entertainment. So if you're truly,
which is why I'm doing the school.
But when you say
it's got to be both.
When you said you're trying to bring 30, whatever that red pill word is, 304, whatever the heck it is. If you're trying to bring are you like that? That's entertainment. You're not even being serious.
Yeah.
If you really want it.
What's wrong with being entertaining?
It's not.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with being entertaining.
Yeah.
But if you are trying to help women become better, and you're telling me you can get 10 hoes from down off Crenshaw to be on the show. Who are you? Who is the show for? Men or for women?
Who's you can't save hoes. You can't help them.
Stop playing this game.
No,
the only reason you're bringing those.
You keep accusing me of playing games.
Games is a word. Pearly, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Chicago suburbs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You don't know none of the lingo. You know what's going on? You've been in UK for too long. It's just words, girl.
No, I know.
You're having a good time. You okay?
Yeah, I'm
having a good time.
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
You need a break?
No, I'm okay.
Good. We're having fun. Game's just a word.
Yeah, I understand.
You good?
And so this is part of the aspects as well. She knows what she's doing, right? She intentionally pretends as if she doesn't know what's going on and doesn't know what's happening, and intentionally being disingenuous in that moment. She knows exactly what he's saying. She wants to do entertainment, and this is exactly what happens with Black, shows sometimes, where you get certain producers who just want to produce entertainment. It's a bit like how Ready to Love has kind of gone in a different direction, where Ready to Love was really about Black love and trying to find it. It feels like it's gone a bit more VH1 right now, right? And so the same thing is happening here that she's talking about. She knows that it's becoming entertainment, and it's not about the actual relationships or trying to get people to be held accountable or trying to help the actual community. You're there for fun and money. And if that's the case, just be real. Don't try to underneath the guise of I'm trying to help when really you're not. You're trying to make paper and money, and that's okay too, because there has to be different people in this lifetime. Okay, all right. But pretend as if you don't know what you're doing, and the entertainment is, baby, we know exactly what you're doing, right? You're playing stupid on purpose now. And when he said obviously you're playing a game, I don't know, but what she's trying to do right now is wind him up so he can get frustrated, and it'll be a clickbait situation. It'll be Hafeez gets angry and all the men will rush and say, "Oh, look how emotional he is. Because that's what they're already doing in the live chat. If you watch the live chat, okay, if you watch the live chat, you see it, right, bro? I saw her as well. I saw her on the P show, and I haven't seen her on the Black Light podcast. I have to see it. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's now moving into the Black Manosphere space and making money off it. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, if they're gonna give her the space to do it, up to them. If they're gonna be foolish enough to do it, I haven't got the time. You know what I mean? Like, let them save themselves. But we gonna tell some truths. You know, we gonna tell some truths. Let me just play this game.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Guys, we're having fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like I was saying, if you want to maximize helping women, and you're telling me you're gonna do a show with the worst possible women, the most
rude, me. I'm going on the show. Me.
No. I didn't say just you.
And my friend Jess.
Her, Jess, 10 hoes. What is going on?
Yeah.
What is
you gotta make it entertaining.
No.
You gotta make it entertaining.
Listen, I wouldn't mind. Let me clarify. If you had 1 hoe.
Okay.
2 hoes.
Or should I limit
3.
it? I can make it 3 hoes.
If
Does that make it better?
If you having a few of them, but don't tell me the show is and you have them all hoes.
I just think,
stop it.
I said 2.
Nah, now he said 2.
No. I said me and Jess. That's 2 that are.
And all the 304s.
Yeah. We're gonna bring
that back.
304 to wife school. They needed the most.
No,
they needed the most.
Listen. Here's the reality.
Yeah.
When it comes to teaching, and I was a teacher.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a teacher in wife school.
No. I'm a student.
She's a student. What happened in season 3?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Okay, when she can be a teacher eventually in wife school.
Yeah.
Here's the reality. What's gonna happen? You're gonna realize the best students. You want your students to be successful. Why are you going? This isn't Coach Carter. You know what I mean? This isn't Lean on Me.
They make the best movies.
Listen, but you ain't the best teacher. You ain't the teacher that's gonna teach those people. You ain't gonna get the job done.
Hey, maybe I will.
So my thing is,
shoot for the stars.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I aim high, Hafeez.
She's shooting for the world star. She's shooting for the shade room.
Sorry. We aim high here.
Sure.
Sorry, we aim high here, Hafeez.
See, I understand it. That's why I'm saying, if you want pure entertainment content, yes, get the, as you call them, the 304s.
Yeah.
But if you truly want to be a place where it's like, man, there's women who are healthy, who are productive, who are growing, who are improving, and men are looking at that like, man, shout out Pearly thing. Look at all those amazing, classy women that are becoming wives. And then all the other women who want to be wives, like, yo, look at all these classy women who are getting better. I want to be a part of that as well. I'm seeing the results they're having as well. That's truly transformational versus just you just having another Love and Hip Hop, because that sounds like you're trying to make Love and Hip Hop, but marriage and hip hop.
What's Love and Hip Hop? Love and Hip. What's that?
Stop it. I'm done with you now. I'm done with you now. I'm done with you now. I'm done with you now.
I keep making these references. I don't know.
I'm done with you now. And now I know what game we're playing. But so to me,
lots of games here.
I love it. I love it. We having
yeah.
fun. This is fun. This is that's my thing. Red pill content. Call it for what it is. It's fun. When you were serious,
do you think Kevin Samuels made an impact? Do you think he was trying to make solutions?
And Kevin Samuels was definitely not red pill.
You wouldn't say?
No.
Really?
No.
No. Oh,
No.
I guess they said he's the Godfather of the manosphere. I guess
Kevin is not.
Pill.
See, and like
that's
I said,
what they used to call him.
I knew a lot.
Did they not call him the Godfather of the manosphere?
Who? But that's different than red pill.
Oh, okay.
Manosphere and red pill is different.
Yeah. I guess yeah.
You know what I mean? Like black pill is part of the manosphere whole, but it's not red pill.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It breaks down.
Yeah, fair enough.
So a lot of and the reason why I always go hard on the red pill stuff, I knew a lot of the people, the ones I respect personally. I knew them personally. I knew some of the best content creators for men personally on my phone right now.
Yeah, but can I make the point with Kevin Samuels? I don't think he would have reached as many people or had as much of an impact if he did not make it entertaining. I don't think if he was like, let me talk to the reasonable women on my show, I'll have as much of an impact. And I honestly think that Kevin Samuels changed like more lives than anyone in the red pill, like in the manosphere. I think like he had the greatest.
Sorry. I don't know what I just clicked off it. My bad, guys. I'll come back to it. Okay.
What up, guys? Welcome to the.
Oh damn! I don't even know where I was.
That I'm, as Patrick Bet David said, a true.
Damn, I don't know where I was, but I wanted to make a point. Anyways, my time is up anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. But, look, as you just heard as well, okay, Yes, Kevin Samuels wasn't red pill. He was part of the manosphere, but not necessarily red pill, right? But the truth of the matter is, she just is. Someone just said it as well. The reality of it is, she doesn't care about helping. Did you hear what she said? It's all about entertainment, because Kevin Samuels wasn't helping. I get sick and tired. He could have chose people that were sensible, had a conversation and said, look, there's some areas that need to be worked on. X, Y, Z. That needs to be worked on, right? You guys, we did a session on my channel. We had 3 or 4 ladies come up. What did I do? I broke it down. X, Y, Z. Okay? I broke it down very clearly. On this channel, X, Y, Z. This is what you need to work on, right? And go from there. But there was intentional certain women coming onto the channel who were making the money because they were precisely the type of people. Precisely the type of people that the red pill men wanted. Those ladies that were calling in were the type of vulnerable women who needed to be schooled in a different way than actually be made for entertainment. And what I mean by that is a conversation that would be different. Right? So in those aspects, right? You know, there was a lot of what Kevin Samuels was doing. The message got lost. It got lost. Right? Yeah, C-Perk. That's it. Yeah. That's why Kevin Samuels is not fully red pill. He's more manosphere than red pill. So yes, for me, there was a lot of things that Kevin Samuels, his message got lost. Yeah, there were some aspects which were real, but a lot of the message was lost because it became about him. It became about entertainment. It became about money. It became about the devil. And when I say the devil, what I mean by that is when you have a false idol. When it becomes about the false idol, ideology, when it comes to relationships, because relationships are not about idols. They're about love. So when you make it about false idols, you are going to suffer. You're always going to come out with a destructive message. When your message is about idols, not about love, it will always end in a destructive manner. Right? So yeah, a lot of people are here for the money. They're not here for anything else. It's a bit like Beyonce saying, the single ladies, and then got married. Okay? A lot of these men will scream, get married, and then it changes, right? A lot of people are here for the check. They don't believe these talking points. They're followers, they're a sheep. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. That's part 1. We'll probably drop a part 2 maybe a little bit later on. But yeah, we're going to go and interview Charisse now. So I'm going to take a little break. We'll be back in about 17, 18 minutes. And we'll have a live with Charisse from Ready to Love. I appreciate guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again very, very soon. Again, if you appreciate the work that we do on Cash App, listen, send me a little Cash App. I'm going to lie to you. If you appreciate it and you feel led to, only if you feel led to, by all means, support the ministry that we do. And I appreciate guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. I'm going to see you again. When will I see you again?